Hi everybody, today we're going to have a look at levelling a California. It's going to use the Ocean that I've got behind me. This vehicle's just come back into us now. So we're going to have a look at the best way to actually level the vehicle off. It's a bit easier on the 6.1 because we've got the level function actually on the display. So we'll actually show you how level the vehicle is to start with, but we'll show you what I use with the blocks that we use from on here as well. And I'm sure from this video there'll be lots of people who make comments about other ways of leveling the vehicles off as well, so please put those comments below as well. Everybody seems to have a different way of doing it and different things that they use for leveling the vehicles off. My advice is always, if you can, obviously try and park it as level as possible, or at least in the direction that you want it to be for your actual sleeping. I know for the very first time many years ago when I borrowed a California from here the first time I went away. I was actually weighing it on my own, parked it up, got it all ready, thought it was great, went up in the bunk upstairs to realise that in actual fact my head was pointing downhill, which from camping for many years I know is not a good idea. So I had to put all the things away and move it again. So first thing is we've parked up, so let's have a look at the display. So flick it across to level, press level. You do need to have the ignition on for this to work. So we're looking at front to back of the vehicle, so it's up at the front by 2.5 degrees, and then it's also from side to side as well at 1.7 degrees. So as you can see from the vehicle, it's quite obvious it's on a downward platform from on here as well, but you can tell from the back of the vehicle that it is this corner that's particularly low across the vehicle. So not only is it low from the fact that it's actually dipping down, but also this particular corner is dipping down as well that's on here. Now I know somebody's going to say this, but obviously I've positioned this vehicle in this way to maximise the effect, to show you how the differences are so you can clearly see it. Obviously on a campsite you wouldn't park your vehicle like this, generally speaking, to try and level it out. It's too much of a variation from on there, because the two things that I'm going to use are these. There's different versions of these, different depths etc you can get in as well, but these are the ones that I've got for the vehicle that's in here, and obviously this goes underneath the particular wheel to level it out and to give you an idea how, by leveling it out and what we do, what kind of effect that will then have on the actual front of the vehicle. So I'm going to start with the lowest point of the vehicle, because what these chocks effectively do is raises the height. So I'm going to pop this under the back wheel, and then I'm going to drive the vehicle forward, so it's actually, the wheel is then on top of this chock. So I move the vehicle now so that that back end has been raised, and we can see from the display on here now, so from front to back, obviously the angle has decreased now to 1.7, and more importantly as well is the left and right movement is now only 0.5 or 0.6, so it's pretty much very level now. So as you can see, that's had a big effect just moving that chock onto the back wheel that's on there and raising it up. Now, as I said, you wouldn't ever have a vehicle in this particular, this far back, but I was trying to emphasise so you could see the difference on camera between the two. So I'm now actually just going to move the vehicle a bit forward from where we were before, so it's not quite on that amount of degree, and then we'll show you then what the effect that has then, obviously, when it's a slightly lesser slope that you would be on. So I'd now move the vehicle to probably a better position, probably a position that's more likely that you'll actually incur. I don't know how easy you're going to see this on camera from on here, and I'll step back in a minute, but the vehicle now is pretty much, it's not too badly level from front to back, but it's more on one particular side, so it's a lot further down on this side. I'll see whether Tim can get a better shot probably from further back, but you'll see that it's sloping this way. We'll have a look at the screen in a moment. But from looking at this, it would be pretty obvious that the side that you want the vehicle to be raised by is this side of the vehicle. That you'd want to actually move the vehicle up to bring it up to a higher level. So we'll see from the screen here, so front to back is 0.8 degree, so not a great deal at all. And then but from side to side is 3.4. So your side to side is quite a lot. You will notice that your front end is higher than the back end. So remember, if you're sleeping, for example, on the bed, you would probably have, if you were upstairs, you'd have your head up this end here, so the vehicle is ever so slightly going back downhill, but that's going to be hopefully rectified a little bit when we actually bring this side of the vehicle up. So what we're trying to do now is we're trying to move this and get this as close to zero as possible, and the way to do that is to put a chock on both the side wheels. Looks about in the middle, doesn't it? Obviously, as you're reversing back, you might have people who are there to help you. If you haven't got somebody there to help you, best way to do it is as I'm here now. So obviously you can have a look outside and you can see where you are, for example, on the chock. So they should both be in about the same place. So I'm just going to gradually move the vehicle back. Have a look where we are. Okay, so by moving back now onto the chocks, we've now got our left to right, the crossways now is only 0.5 of a degree, and then we've got 1 degree which is front to back, which in my mind is pretty level really, that's on there. As I said, obviously we've done extremes here. These two particular places we looked at are probably not ones you necessarily parking. The one here probably is, you probably could get the similar ones to this on a campsite, but generally speaking you're generally looking for something which it looks fairly level, and then when you actually get your level out, then obviously you notice there's slight discrepancies, and that's where then you go to work to try and get it as level as you can. So a couple of things just to bear in mind when obviously you're levelling your vehicle out as well. It's good to have a good idea to where you actually want the vehicle to finish at the end of it. So for example, how we've done it today, we've done it for this particular way round for a couple of reasons. One, because the sun's over there, so you get a better shot rather than being in the dark and things like that. Not ideal what you'd be doing for camping, because as you can imagine now, quite a way up trying to get up into here, so it would actually be better if the vehicle was the other way round that was on here, so that in actual fact it was lower getting into the vehicle on the off side rather than on the on this side here from the ground going round. These are all things that you need to think about when you're deciding you know, where your pitch is, which bits are level, you think it's level that's on there. Don't ever be afraid if you park your vehicle up and you check it to actually turn it and change it around again and get it to where you think is best for it, and living with it as well for a little bit of time. If you're there for a whole day or 2 days, that's in there, it needs to be right from the start. So that's the first thing I would do as well. Second thing to point out as well is if you are using chocks, is to make sure that you're happy with how they work. Again, today you saw me reversing onto the chock. You can forward onto the chock as well. I personally just like to tend to find if it's, for example, if you're going on a downhill slope, I like to reverse onto the actual chock itself, just because obviously the pressure you're applying to move forward, your reversing gear is a lot slower. So you tend to find it has a bit more control because your wheels are not spinning forward. Again, I'm sure somebody would like to put in some comments there that I've probably got it wrong the way I'm doing it, but that's the way I do it. I'm sure there's a right and wrong way, but as I said, I generally like to reverse onto those particular chocks, whether they be front and back. So obviously your vehicle, ideally you want it to be flat. So if you want to move one side up, you obviously need to put one on each of those particular wheels that's there, but obviously then if it's more front to back, you'd need to put them either at the back or at the front. Now obviously you can use more than two, so if you were, for example, wanting to use more than just the two chocks, so in this situation where we are pretty level horizontal, it's slightly, ever so slightly up a little bit at the front. So you could, for example, put another one in the back corner that was in there to raise that up a bit, but that has a lot of problems then from in there, because obviously one, you're concentrating on moving over on one side of the vehicle where you're actually putting the chocks on there so you can see what's going on that's there, plus you probably don't want it at full height that's on the chocks, it's on there, so you're going to have to gauge where it goes to. So my advice really is try and just use two. So the chocks generally come in a pack of two. I don't personally think you need any more than that. I think it just complicates if you're trying to move it in two different angles. You're probably on the wrong type of pitch. Most of these you'll be on like hard standing or grass, and most pitches now are fairly level anyway, so it's just really just to get that odd little bit that you need to that's in there as well. Now while we're talking about chocks, there is another piece of equipment which is quite handy as well. I haven't got one here to show you today, unfortunately. If we do, I'll get one out as well, and that's a long thin piece of plastic which has grooves in there as well to help it, and that's if you get stuck. So say for example that you're on grass and the vehicle's slipping a little bit, those you can stick under the wheels and they'll help you move off. And at some point we'll do a video on those as well, when I don't actually have any of those in stock at the moment. If I did, I could show you what and how that works, because it would lead in to the same thing. But those are two, if you're going to get chocks, you might as well get those at the same time. So if you do get stuck on grass, for example, you can put them under the front wheels. It's the ones you need to put them under really, because it's the front wheels that give you the drive, unless obviously you've got the 4Motion version, and then you probably don't need them anyway. So last two things for today's video. One, obviously if you are using these, you need for the centre of the wheel to be properly over the actual chop that you're on in the first place. You don't want to be too far right on the end of it for obvious reasons, so you need to be over the wheel. Use the wheel cap as a good guide because you'll see straight down. Now some of you might be asking, I haven't got a 6.1, how do I do this because I can't get my level out? So there's two options. If you've got a mobile phone, a lot of mobile phones have a level on them, or you can certainly download an app. I know I've got one on my phone for doing it as well. And you can also buy as well, I used to be caravanners with my parents a long time ago, and they had a triangular level that had both the axes on there as well. You could just pop on a level surface in the vehicle, and that would tell you then obviously which points were level that's on there as well. So probably worth actually having one of those two, or having an app on your phone anyway, just so you've got another check as well. Well, I hope you'd enjoyed today's video and found it informative. I'm sure we're going to, but if we've got some of this wrong, or you do it a different way, or there's a better way of doing it, please pop it in the comments box below as well. I don't know everything. I'm still learning a lot on California, on camper vans, how things work, what's the best use when you go away, things like that. As you probably know, I've explained to you before, I've not been away this year at all in a camper van due to family and obviously COVID-19 as well. Hasn't helped with the situation. So if you've got any comments in there, put them in the comments box below. If there's a way you do it that thinks better, if there's something you use which is better than what we've got here, I'd love to know, because it would want to help me out, because I'd know obviously for future as well, and we'll let you know as well then and bring it to you in another video. So I said, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. If you don't already subscribe, please subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.